James Hodge.
James Hodge.
James Hodge.
James Hodge. James Hodge.
James Hodge Auto Group.
It's sweet. I've been wanting it for like 2 years since they came out. Finally got one.
First year at Chili Bowl.
1987. We had 35 cars. It was a 2-day show. We ran it on Saturday and Sunday. That Sunday we ran against the Super Bowl. We was afraid we'd put them out of business, but I don't think we did.
Yeah.
We could introduce the crowd quicker than we could introduce our drivers that year. I know, I'll never forget it. We lost about $20,000 that year. And I thought, oh gosh, I don't know how much of this I can stand. We was probably working for minimum wage time we got all this in here and what little we made. Roger Penske is our Grand Marshal. Roger come in here and he said, I just wanted to see what this Chili Bowl's all about, because he said when them kids get to Daytona, said that's all they're talking about. He said, I had to come up here and see what this is all about.
Holy cow! Second wave, whoa, 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 whoa! Terry Holderfield from Mattoon, Illinois.
7 NASCAR people come in here. I mean, from maybe number 3 on down and they spent the week up here just to see what was happening up here, because there's not another race in the country that has this many cars in one division, and that the tickets are sold out a year in advance with a waiting list, and there's just not another race. You know, we've been on pay-per-view, we've been on ESPN, we've been on MAV TV the last 10 years, so when people see this, it's almost unbelievable. So if you're any type of race fan at all, you got to come see it.
Coming from asphalt racing and basically circuit racing, I just got asked by a sponsor if I wanted to run the Chili Bowl, and I was kind of like, yeah, sure. Like, I have no idea what this thing is.
This is probably actually the biggest race in the country. Everybody wants to win a driller, have it on their mantle.
Nothing going on. I mean, it's 30 degrees out here, you know, it's cold, it's the off season, so why not go race?
The NASCAR superstars, the drag car racers, the sprint car guys, it's a pretty outstanding deal for sure.
The track's small enough that no one can really ever get away.
The best equipment, the best motors, we have the best people around, so we're going to make a really solid effort at it this year.
You can't describe it. I mean, it's a big deal. You know, to win the Chili Bowl is huge.
You know, it's Chili Bowl and luck plays a factor.
Man, it's the Super Bowl. I mean, that's the best way to describe it. The caliber of guys there in the main event is just, there's a lot of people that can win.
For a race car driver, it can change your life with one race.
Just got to be on my game, and I think if my head's in the right place and I'm doing all the right things, we'll be right there with the best of them.
What's up, man?
All right.
Yeah, you?
All right.
You ready for the day?
I think so.
Yeah?
Figure it out.
Move-in's a little bit stressful. I'm now stress relieved. That's trailers in the building, but that's making sure you have everything in your trailer, the prep leading up to it. Almost 4 or 5 hours from here, drive-wise. So as soon as you roll in here, then get the trailer in the building and then start setting up camp for the whole week.
The Chili Bowl is the, for a race car driver, it is the, it can change your life with one race. For the race fan, it is the ultimate party slash you get to see all your friends for the year, plus you get to see some of the greatest racing you'll see in your whole life.
Loading all the trailers into the expo center, unloading all the cars, and then some people will install their seats that are rented rides and stuff like that. Prepare the cars for Monday morning practice session, first practice sessions.
Gotta straighten up my OCD. Gonna be home for the next week, so that's gotta be perfect. Had one of the guys that works for me, he's like, let's go to the Chili Bowl. I'm like, what's the Chili Bowl? Like, that doesn't sound very fun. So my wife and I, we loaded up with them, and he's like, get ice chest, bring some beer. I'm like, okay, this sounds a little better already. We're sitting there watching, and man, these cars just kept rolling down the ramp, and I'm like, man, what are these things? And I looked over at my wife, I'm like, we're gonna race these.
Midgets are...
It's like a little go-kart.
An over horsepower little go-kart.
Back in the day, they were much smaller than even what they were now, and that's comparatively to a sprint car, they were smaller, so that's kind of where the midgets came from.
An open-wheeled dirt car.
Sprint car is normally like a 350 Chevy motor. Bigger car, bigger chassis.
A 4-cylinder engine in it makes about 450 horsepower.
Kind of get that weird look when you say we're going midget racing.
It's a little harder for my fat butt to get in there.
Weighs maybe with the driver 1,000 pounds. It's the most violent.
Like wrestling a bear.
I've raced sprint cars, I've raced micros, I've raced them all.
Just non-stop on the wheel, fighting the car.
The only thing close to it is probably the World Outlaw 410 guys.
Mud everywhere. I mean, it's like a go out there and just have fun kind of sport.
Allows you to feel the horsepower with the weight ratio, and a lot of people think they're dune buggies, but they're definitely not.
It's fun. It's aggressive. Your elbows up all the time, and you're never taking a break. That's the elite of elite racing. The adrenaline junkies want to go there, and that's why you see 360 people. There's never been anybody that walked away and said, gosh, this is kind of boring.
Your heat race starts your whole week, and you can't screw that up or you're buried.
James Hodge Toyota piece truck pulls out onto the racetrack.
I'm excited, you know, Chili Bowl. Hopefully we can do good again and kick off the season right. I just got to be better, you know, clean up the mistakes and be more consistent, and you know, it's definitely possible.
How'd that feel, Dave?
Oh man, unreal. 2 years in a row, proud dad, very proud.
First start, I'd say Bernal, you know, got a really good jump, and I had to be in attack mode there right off the bat. And once I got by him, I was just kind of patient and you know, just consistent with the car as much as I could be, and try not to make mistakes. And I think I did well with that. The yellows were happening right at the right times when I'd catch the back of the field, so I was happy to see those when they came out. And, you know, I learned throughout that race on those restarts, I just had to move around a little bit because Courtney, you know, it was either the next restart or the one after that. He was gonna clear one, so I had to move around and give myself a fighting chance on those restarts. And I was able to just calm down there at the end and move back down to the bottom when it mattered to you know, to protect the lead.
We went out a couple times, it wouldn't fire. We get out there, I think we fouled the plugs off, got too much fuel in it. Finally got it all figured out, and she fired off, but we weren't able to practice, but we got it fired and it running, so get another hot lap session.
one of the greatest races in the country, I feel, you know, with the time of year, the beginning of the year, January, and it just being in the middle of Tulsa, Oklahoma, in an expo center, a 450,000 square foot building. So with the racetrack, everyone's trailers, race cars, everyone's inside. Perfect timing, and it puts on great racing, and that's why everyone comes. The driver accessibility is huge inside this building. You know, the fans and the drivers, everyone's kind of at the same level. When you buy a pit pass and you come in, there's no, you know, you can walk right into somebody's trailer and say hello to them.
I just don't really drive like that. You know, I had to go straight to a C main, went from the C main, finished second, to the B, finished 7th in the B. So I missed it by 2 spots for the prelim feature, which is my first time to not make the prelim in like 4 years. So it's a little disappointing, but hoping to do some alphabet soup today.
People are usually pretty surprised when, you know, I'm a cheerleader, so they're definitely a little thrown off when I say that I drive race cars.
I snuck in at 15, so that's the year they went to the 16 rule. May have had a little help from Emmett and still slid in at 15, but so I'm 28 now, so I think I've been running them since 2008 was my first one. The cautions aren't terrible. I mean, that kind of gives you time to tune on your car. When you're part of the caution, it really sucks. We ended up with a midget laying in our lap, so that wasn't quite fun.
It's an opportunity for these we call grassroots racers, you know. They're mixing it up with some of the top elites and beating them. And so everybody's eyes is, especially with Flo, everybody's eyes are going to be on the Chili Bowl this year, and this can make some careers and it can break some careers. You know, this is what we've been focused on for the last 2 or 3 months, you know, and everybody is. I mean, you know, a lot of people build some brand new cars. You see the rigs that are in there, the trailers, it's ridiculous, but you know, it doesn't take money to win this deal. It just takes talent, and it can happen. Well, you know, being a Tulsa native, you know, we don't have to prepare near as much as everybody else does. As a matter of fact, we're not a Chili Bowl only team. You know, there's a lot of Chili Bowl only teams out there. We actually race with the Power I West, you know, so our cars are out there every week racing.
Caution, it just kind of depends. If you're at the back, you obviously want them if we get strung out, but if you're up front, then it's kind of nerve-wracking, especially or if you're in a transfer spot in a B or something. It's definitely nerve-wracking because you know what's coming at you.
Go about our business, check everything, double check everything. We have a setup sheet list that we go through. We've actually probably the only thing we did different is that 2 different people go through 2 different lists, you know. So we'll just do our thing.
Started coming here as a kid and I've always watched here. It's definitely, you know, a big turn in my career for me, just being able to compete with these guys, and I'm hoping to move up my career, and it's awesome to be able to compete here in my hometown. These guys started racing, some of them before I was even born. So, you know, it's been a game changer for me, and it's definitely one of the biggest races of the year. And I'm hoping to be the first female to compete in the Chili Bowl A feature.
Well, I don't do much. I just kind of show up and kind of do what I'm doing right now and point fingers at Cody and Robbie, and you know, Cannon's always got something going here too, and so this is kind of what I do here. You know, I've driven for a couple different people, and the vibe here is just, you know, you can't match it anywhere else you go. We're all good friends. We like to cut up, but we like to be serious when we need to be.
One of those hurry up and wait deals.
Yeah.
This is.
Pop your hood off real quick.
Cody, he's an old football player, and his series is another level than most of ours, so it's pretty intense, and you know, it's time to cut out the jokes and get to work.
We're bringing 7 cars with, I think, 4 to 5 of the drivers that are equipped to run up front, and I think 3 of them, maybe a 4th one, have a really good shot at making the A on Saturday. And when it's that much, you have to put pressure on everybody to be perfect.
I mean, these guys do a hell of a job here at Dave Mack Motorsports, and they know how to get stuff going.
They're awesome. You know, we put them to the test quite a bit.
you have at least 300 people. Competing for one trophy, one win on Saturday night. So when you bring in that many people, the competition's just immense. That's part of the reason why so many people enter, and that's why when you win, it's so satisfactory.
There's nothing like pulling onto the racetrack on Saturday night and seeing the crowd. The atmosphere there is unreal. It's kind of hard to explain until you see it.
We got Tanner Thorson, and I think we got really good chances of running up front this year.
next year, January 10th to the 15th. Again, all ticket orders, both renewals and new, begin the first Wednesday of March. On behalf of our announcing team, Tony Boncoman, Randy Boyd and Blake Anderson, Devin Infield. My name is Brian Holbert saying good night, good luck, God bless, be safe on your way home. And we'll see you back here for the 36th running of the Lucas Oil Chili Bowl Nationals presented by General Tire. Good night, everyone.